Hello, this is the Grand Geek Geezer and talking and collecting comics since 1973. Today, I like to talk about reasons for collecting comic books. More specifically, I was watching a YouTube video and this guy was showing this amazing collection. And it was pretty amazing. There were 50, 60 long boxes. I don't know, lost count. He was going through them. There's all kinds of comics from the 70s to the 80s, 90s, some really nice key issues too. But here's the thing, as he would comment on when he pick one up, he goes, "Oh, this one sells really fast." And this one, yeah, people really like to see this one. Basically, he wasn't just a collector. He was either a comic book store owner, eBay, WhatsApp, some other resell, some type of reseller, you know. Um, but he was definitely enthusiastic. He was almost as enthusiastic as I would be if I came across this collection because I'm not really a reseller. I'm an average collector. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've sold a comic or two from time to time to help fund the collection or the addiction, right? Um, but this is just, it really is a strange thing for me to see someone to get so excited because they're gonna make money. I mean, yeah, but it just it's difficult. Maybe because I started so early in the '70s collecting, it really wasn't like this collectible market, right? Like there was hardly any licensing for Marvel, DC characters, and if there was, it was pretty lame. Um, and you really just collect, you know, to read, and you had a collection, and that was that. I mean, crap. I mean, I think I even started before conventions started, right? I think the first Marvel convention wasn't until about what 1974, 75. So it just wasn't a thing. It grew into a thing, right? As comics became more and more valuable, I think we have more of these people who sort of get a high, if you will, of finding a comic that they know will sell, you know. Um, and I guess that's it, right? You buy low, you sell high, right? So you buy a collection in bulk, you don't pay nearly as much, and you hoping that you take out all the keys and you sell them for top price, and then you could just sell a box for a long box for 50, $100, whatever it is, just sort of to recoup your money, and you come out ahead. Um, I never really understood how you can get so excited about it. I mean, you're not going to own it. I mean, no, you can't take it with you, but doesn't it defeat the purpose? I mean, I befriended a neighbor who used to like to go flea market hunting, and he would resell a lot as a hobby. He didn't really need the money, but for some reason he got this high over just reselling things on eBay or Facebook or whatever. And he started talking to me about comics. He was in comics, and next thing I know, we're going to flea markets, all over New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, to find stuff. Um, I was just happy for the companionship, to be quite honest, because um, don't really know a lot of people. Even though I lived here quite some time, um, I don't really blend in well with a lot of my neighbors. Just total different interests and sports interests anyway. So it's kind of nice to have someone go to the flea market and we go hunting for comics and toys. And I made it a point just to make it easier, since we're both looking and he's being so competitive to sell. I sort of like let him get first choice. Let him hit whatever box you want. Go ahead, hit. You find something, you keep it, whatever. I never fought. I never stood his way because, like I said, I did more for the companionship and he wanted for the money. But he really, really got off on just finding something for $1 and selling it for $100. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's nice, but there's just got to be more. I mean, he would hit me up for information because he wouldn't read any of this stuff. He never read anything. Wasn't interested in reading it. Just wanted to know his resale value. Um, and I did sort of create a monster by sharing my knowledge of him because when we first started flea market hunting, he was only interested in Marvel comics. That was it because the Marvel movies were big, right? So he's only interested in Marvel comics. And I'm trying to tell him like this is a first appearance of whatever from DC. It's worth money. He's like, no, no, no. I said, well, go look at eBay. And then he started looking at eBay. And then he started doing more and more research. And bam, I created a monster. I mean, he he just would not stop. He would buy in bulk, and any new trend, it just grew and grew and grew until eventually the market just kind of dried up a little bit. Things kind of slowed down a little bit, and then he dropped out of it. But I still go to flea markets when I can, not as much as I would like to right now, but I go, when I can, and it's just fun to add stuff to the collection. I mean, the value for me is just for the love of collecting and gathering these stories, right? Um, it doesn't matter the value of it, right? If I don't have the comic, I won't put it back because it has a crease and therefore I can't resell it. In fact, that's how I got some key comics from him, right? He said, a crease is not going to sell for whatever, this really is really going to sell if it's really, really, really great mint shape. So you can have it. I'm more than happy to have it. I'll have a beat up copy of the key. Why? Because I can read it. Don't worry about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do understand the value, and as a collector, I like having valuable comics because to me, it just adds that much more value to the collection, not monetary, but just to show you that you're an elite collector in a sense. I have my own scale of eliteness, and I don't. But I mean, here's an example of. I'm not a huge grader. It's expensive, but I do grade certain comics, and you're going to be surprised at this comic here that I have graded. This comic here don't want to get the light too much. Is the $6 Million Man. I loved this show as a kid, and this is the first appearance of the $6 Million Man in comics. Now you can see it's a 7.0. I'm not really good at grading. I thought it would go a little better, but to me, this comic could be enshrined. I have a copy to be read, and I just wanted to keep this because to me, this is such a key comic, near and dear to my heart. I never missed an episode of the $6 Million Man. I loved it, even watched The Bionic Woman. And I just thought it was so cool to actually have a graded copy, sort of like a Hall of Fame thing, if you will. And it's there. But is it worth that much money? No, not really. If I wanted to sell it, I would probably barely make back what I had to press and clean and press it and encapsulate it. Yeah, and it's a 7.0. So that just shows you. But I just love having it. I like the way it looks here in the case. And it means more to me than its actual monetary value. And to me, that is the love of collecting. And that is why you collect comic books. So please, if you liked what I've said, you want to continue, subscribe to the link below, leave some comments. I'm part of the Geezer Media Network. We're also on the Diamond Geezers, and there's other Geezer stuff if you check it out. Love to hear from you. And goodbye and happy collecting.